Today, we'll be covering a fascinating topic. But before we do that, how would you like to get a deeper understanding of history, impress your friends, and predict the future more accurately based on past events? If this sounds like something you might be into, then check out the brand new Captivating History Book Club by clicking the first link in the description. Let's get into the video. Did Bill Gates put something in the vaccine? Or did NASA fake the moon landing? With the world in our hands, what should we believe in? The advent of the internet has brought with it the problem of overstimulation, and this constant state of intellectual flux can be tiring and overwhelming for many of us. How does one find a reprieve from it? For some, the answer lies in thrusting themselves headfirst into this whirlwind of data. For others, the answer lies in refraining from the vanities of modern life. However, both of these groups often fall victim to another indulgence: conspiracy theories. Whether it be disappearing down a rabbit hole of obscure, unreliable information or the lack of access to real data, people can be easily drawn to the allure of conspiracy theories. These obsessions can range from micro to macro. Some people might believe that their coworker is an intelligence spy, while others choose to believe that a secret society controls the world. This nefarious and paranoid way of thinking seems naturally beguiling to the human brain. The micro-obsessions remain just that, obsessions, but larger-than-life theories attract ambitious minds from all around. Here are 5 hoard-attracting conspiracy theories that people find hard to let go of. Holocaust Denial. The Jewish people have been the victims of persecution throughout history. That does not mean that all Holocaust deniers have an anti-Semitic bent. However, this theory often appeals to impressionable or prejudiced minds. The Holocaust is, by far, the most well-documented genocide in history. Historians have conclusive evidence that the Nazi regime murdered about 6 million Jews and millions of other minority groups. The evidence comprises tons of documents, memos, letters, blueprints, and orders, thousands of eyewitnesses and their testimonies, and other material as well as circumstantial evidence. A small group of Holocaust deniers claims that it did not happen at all. However, the key assertion of a majority of Holocaust deniers is that the death count was highly exaggerated to garner sympathy for the Jewish population. They claim that the gas chambers in Auschwitz never existed and that documents like the Diary of Anne Frank are forgeries. They think that the powers that be hatched the entire plan to further the economic gains of the Jewish people. According to a 2014 survey conducted by the Anti-Defamation League, 32% of people from a sample of 53,000 across 100 countries believed that the events of the Holocaust had transpired. Unfortunately, this conspiracy followed in the footsteps of other earlier theories. The Protocols of the Learned Elders of Zion comes to mind. This book was a hoax that claimed to have revealed a Jewish conspiracy of world domination. The book came out in 1903 in Russia, but spread throughout Europe and was even used by Nazis to justify the genocide. The moon landing. One of the most widely regarded conspiracy theories is the faking of the moon landing. Many people believe that NASA's moon landing event in 1969, televised worldwide, was a lie. Were Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin sent to the moon? Did they ever land on its surface? Or was it all filmed in a studio? Almost 6% of Americans still believe that the moon landing was part of an elaborate scheme hatched by the CIA and the American government. Here are the facts. The Soviet Union launched the first satellite ever to reach space, Sputnik 1, in 1957. The first human to go to space was also a Soviet citizen named Yuri Gagarin. These Soviet endeavors of human flight into space came during the initial years of the Cold War. The Soviet economy had not yet started to crumble, and the Americans wanted to prove that they were just as technologically advanced as their counterparts. This much is true. The rest is speculation. The Cold War theory leads many people to believe that the moon landing was a hoax, concocted as an exhibition of U.S. power to the world. By 1970, almost 70% of Americans believed this to be true. Many thought that the footage shown on their TV screens was merely part of the Cold War drama. As time went by, people continued to believe that the footage was shot in a studio, referencing the flag's movement and other details in the video. Physicists and other people who oppose this theory point to the lack of air in space. claiming that without any external resistance, an object in motion would stay in motion indefinitely. Whether the arguments of this conspiracy theory have a leg to stand on or not, it remains a major talking point well into the 21st century. Princess Diana's murder. People who do not live in the UK are often baffled by their regard for their monarchy. To foreigners, it seems silly, but to the locals, it is an emblem of their rich tradition and history. As such, it was a tad unusual when Princess Diana captured the world's imagination. Before that, issues of the royal family were not treated with much weight abroad. But Diana was not the traditional royal figure. She was evasive in her personality and clad in luxury. She was quite the charmer, and the people loved her for it. This increased exposure brought a lot of attention to the royal family. While some might think this to be a good thing, others believed that the unwanted attention irked the royals. So when the People's Princess died in a car crash in 1997, people began to speculate. She had been recently divorced from Prince Charles, was dating an Egyptian filmmaker, and her car had crashed into a concrete pillar outside of a tunnel. So there was a lot of room for wild speculation. A theory that began circulating right away connected the accident to the royal family. Some thought that the royals did not approve of Diana's boyfriend at the time, Dodi Al-Fayed, an Egyptian and a Muslim. Many unanswered questions added fuel to the fire. A key question was the identity of her driver. Some believed, and continued to believe, that he was a secret informant. Then there was the question of whether Diana was pregnant. People also questioned the decisions of the Parisian paramedics. They decided to treat her on location and skipped past one hospital as they took her to another one. Ever since, a major portion of the population has continued to believe that the royal family had a hand in the accident of Lady Diana. Flat Earth. This is a relatively new one, and while it has been around for quite some time, it has gained mainstream attention in recent years. A group of people known colloquially as flat earthers claim that our little blue ball in space is not a ball at all. According to them, the Earth is flat, and the atmosphere serves as a dome on top of it. They believe that the idea of a spherical Earth was purported to fool the public and keep them in the dark. The theory further claims that the moon landing was a fake and that all space missions have been nothing but a hoax. This one theory, unlike the others, is quite easy to debunk. After all, even the ancient Greeks in the 5th century BCE knew that the Earth was round. Empedocles and Anaxagoras offered arguments in this regard. They saw the Earth's shadow on the moon and realized that the Earth had to be round. In the 3rd century BCE, Eratosthenes estimated the circumference of the planet. At the heels of the medieval era, Galileo was hounded by the Church for his belief that the Earth revolved around the Sun. He had elaborated on Copernicus's theory of heliocentrism. Before Galileo, most people believed that the Sun revolved around the Earth. It was not until the 19th century that the Church accepted heliocentrism. These ideas of our position in space and Earth's shape have not arrived in a vacuum. They have been critiqued and researched for centuries. The Illuminati. As the world became more and more globalized, the opportunities for wild speculation increased. One has to realize that the world did not used to be this complicated. It was complicated to an extent, but the general populace was unaware of what the aristocrats and monarchs were doing. They knew systems existed because they saw them with their eyes. Even if they did not understand them completely, they acknowledged their existence. The idea of a secret society running monarchies was an easy plot to consider. With the advent of the internet, the political, financial, and social systems have gotten increasingly complex. These digital systems are far more complicated than ever before, but they are hidden from sight as well, leading to a lot of speculations from different demographics. Some people critique the misinformation on the internet and are cynical of the information presented to them, no matter how true it may seem. Others simply do not possess a detailed understanding of how the ever-changing world functions. What brings all of these groups together? The idea of the people at the top sitting in dark conference rooms pulling the strings. It serves as an easy answer to complex questions. Who is to say that this does not happen? But the idea of the Illuminati to explain this phenomenon can seem a little bit reductive. Our stance is not to endorse or reject any of these theories. But whenever you deal with conspiracy theories, you should remember that what can be asserted without evidence can also be dismissed without evidence. We hope you enjoyed this video on the top 5 conspiracy theories of all time. If you did, please hit the like button and subscribe for more videos like this. Also, grab your free mythology bundle ebook while it's still available. The link is in the description.